Well, good afternoon again. This is Monday, the day after our mini get-together where Bob and I talked about 60cc saws and the history and the like. And I've got a bunch of farm-related cutting to do, and right now is a perfect time to get to some trees. But the project I need to do today is one where the outcome is not necessarily going to be exactly what I want. And the reason why I want to do it today is I want to do it this time of year so I can clean up the mess before I have to deal with the animals. This area to the north of me, or in front of the camera, is north. That's north, west, south. Oh yeah, truck, east. But there's an ash tree that's dead, and I'm not sure what killed it yet, but I want to take it down and see if I can figure it out. We have a variety of reasons why that might happen. And the way it is situated, it's going to want to get that fence, and I know it. So before I have the horses in this pasture, which will be in a few weeks, I need to get trees like that down where I can do it and not have to worry about where the animals are, where the fences are, and the like. Now, this fence line, my wife and I put this together, oh my God, almost 10 years ago now, and I have to do some repair on it. That's another whole story. I used a hop horn beam when I should have used something else in a couple of places, but in general it's intact. And I'll go back and fix this stuff later on. But that's another reason why chainsaws are important. Every corner post on that fence line I did with a tree from the hedgerow. This is a 4-wire high tensile, and I know this is an aside. The brand of the materials we use is a company called Cove, and it's a New Zealand based company. You can find them online, I'm sure. I know that's not related to chainsaws, but you folks out there who deal with livestock will appreciate this. This high tensile concept is just amazing. It's a very, very resilient concept for, well, exactly situations like this. It won't take a lot of effort for me to pull pins and drop the fence line down if I need to. But even if I didn't do that and a tree came down on that fence, there's enough stretch in the system where, you know, I might lose a T-post here and there, but the fence won't be destroyed. And the effort required to bring it back to serviceable is minimal. Just a great concept. So, gotta plug that company. The things that they sell are like this this coated wire, and also this galvanized wire. This also has a galvanized core, has a 25-year service life. The things that we like about the Cove product line are things like these clips. Very, very durable. I've never seen them, you know, get brittle and crack, and we've had them now for quite some time. And the fit and finish is better than what you get at, well, Tractor Supply. And being able to repair a bad fence has been one of the strong points of the products from that company. Everything works well. So if you guys are out there thinking about putting up fence line and you have to deal with multiple types of livestock, we deal with both horses and cows. I really, really strongly suggest you take a look at the whole high tensile concept and the Cove company in particular. But anyway, back to the project. This ash tree is going to come down one way or the other. It's coming down, and it's not going to be pretty. It's already dropping branches. The way it's leaning, I could probably get it to come down alongside the fence. These trees right here are going to probably want to deflect it away from the tree line and towards the fence. But you see, these are the kind of things you got to consider when you start into a project like this. You see the dead branches? chances are those branches are going to come falling out of there when they hit the other trees. So I got to make sure I've got an escape path, because I have to assume that those are coming down. I really do. And I'm not as young as I used to be, or I can't move the way I used to. So what I'm going to try to do is, based on the way I see the lean, I'm going to try to lay it down over here. All right, which means I'm going to face cut in that direction. And I think the fence is going to survive even if it hits it, so I'm not going to do too much there. I might break a clip or two, but I'm not going to worry about it. I don't think it will. But what I will do is a fair amount of site preparation. I need to cut a lot of this crap out of here and make it where I can move. And I'm going to look to see whether or not there's a branch that's like hung up there that'll get left behind when the tree begins to fall. Because that's the ones that bite you. You know, if you look up on the top of your tree and you see a dead branch that's entangled with a top from another tree, and that tree begins to fall, what will happen sometimes is that branch will get trapped, it'll stay, it'll snap and come straight down. Well, I don't want that to happen, because that could be painful. But you can see that tree is compromised pretty badly. A lot of times on a tree like this, I'll wait to have someone else around. I probably should today, but I don't know. This one's been tasking me. So what I'll do here is I'm going to cut, like I said, my work area, clear it out, take the time, I'm getting older. I'm going to do a face cut, a slight bore cut, and then back cut. And then as soon as I see things or hear things moving, I'm going over there somewhere, getting the heck out of the way. So that's the project. And that's an ash tree. There's some things about ash trees that, you know, if I was doing timber, you think about. I always bore cut some, and the ash trees around here have a tendency to want to tear the hearts out if you leave that hinge all the way across. And when I bore cut, it takes away that tendency. I don't bore cut all the way through the back. I bore cut from the front and sort of do a shovel shaped cut where I sort of leave a few inches around the back side of the tree and then get out of there and sit back a little bit, and then I can start on the one side and cut that half circle shaped material that's left and let the tree go. God, that's hard to explain. I'll do it, and then you'll see what I do, and you either agree or disagree. It doesn't matter to me, it's what I do. I'm going to get rid of that thorn apple. Leave that. And I want to see if I can get this to stay over in here, and then I can clean it up. And that is going to be enough work to keep me busy for today. That's all I want to do. Yeah, I think I can do it. So pretty much anytime I come up on the hill with the pickup truck, I carry saws. And if you watch my channel, you know, we have fun. My favorite firewood saw, and we talked about that yesterday. This one's got a nice sharp chain. And actually that saw is probably enough to do the job. This has been my go-to felling saw for a while. It's a 372 based saw. 18-inch bar, lightweight Sujihara. And this saw right here is a 562, which I've modified a little bit. And it's sort of the contender to knock Cyclops out of the pocket for my main saw for general work. And here's the thing, you know, the 562 has gone through some teething issues. That's well known, well documented. I'm not going to go through the litany, but there's been many. This one here has been built to a relatively new specification in that I've got the 6 screw cases, the new screw types. It's got a new cover that has some holes to allow for airflow. They've made a change there. It's got the EL48 carburetor and the new ignition. So, you know, it's maybe not the latest and greatest, but it's pretty darn close to it in terms of the specs. And I think the point is that that original saw started out as a one of the first models that got sold, and it has a different set of cases, but some of the plastic has been around since 2011 or 12. I upgraded the thing this year because it came to me as a dead saw. I think you saw my video where it had some wasted bearings, and basically built it with the best parts I could find. Bob contributed this bar. I'm going to give it a try. I've been a fan of the Sugiharas for the longest time, and I know that there's some issues with these bars, but you know something? It might work just for me. Cyclops, I'm not sure where I'm going with this, because I'm kind of in a discussion with myself about where I'm going with this. Cyclops is the outgrowth of a 372 project that I've been working on for several years. And it is the, I don't know, the saw that personifies what I want in a saw. At least I did up until this point in time. I love the torque more than I like the RPMs and power. This one here is a torque build. It has an aftermarket big bore kit, but my 372 XPW runs virtually the same, so it's that power characteristic that I've been looking for. The reason why I have the 18-inch bar is because I'm looking for lighter weight. You know, I'm not getting any younger. This saw starts really easy. It's a little bit heavier saw than, say, these 555s and 562s, which is why we're in this discussion. And what I did to try to mitigate the weight issue was go to a shorter bar and a lightweight bar. So these two saws, they really aren't that far apart in weight. But I had to compromise on bar length to get that. And it doesn't make that much difference, but I went to a short or the low top type configuration like a 365. All those things I did were trying to make it smaller and lighter. That was the goal. And what I ended up with is an extremely, extremely useful saw. That's got enough power to drop anything I have on the property. They could easily pull a 24-inch bar if I chose to. And it's been a reliable saw, so kudos to the top end. That was a Husqvarna top end. And it started its life out, believe it or not, as a 365X torque. So which is it? That's what I have to decide. Today, I'm going to try this saw. Okay, so now what do I think? Not that one tree in one situation is enough to make a difference. My first impression is, I don't know, it cuts pretty good. Cyclops is so much more powerful, you know. Part of it's the chain. I think what happens is this, is when you have a saw that runs really well and you learn it, you learn how hard to push, the weight and the balance and all that, it's really hard for another saw to kind of step in and push it out of the pocket. The 562xp right there is quite a bit stronger than my 565, and I suspect it's quite a bit stronger than a stock 562, but it's not in the same league in terms of torque as Cyclops, and part of it's the length of the bar and all that. But where you feel it is like when you're really trying to cut quickly and you lay into that thing. For example, when I do the first cut of my face cut where I'm cutting down at an angle, Cyclops just rips through that material, even though you're cutting cross grain, where the 562 I could make the same cut, but I had to be a little bit more, I guess the word is finesse. I had to use more finesse to make that cut instead of just hogging right into it. So it took a little longer. Not that it didn't make the cut, but I found myself pushing and waiting and being a little bit nervous because I don't like to be there in front of the tree, number one. And where a Cyclops, that same cut would have taken maybe 2/3 the same time frame. Now, part of it's just getting used to it, but also part of it's learning how to adjust that chain to match the saw. I think I mentioned that in one of my prior videos. But other than that first cut, the bore cut went nice, the bottom part of the face cut went nice, and beginning the cut, the back cut was fine. When I got into the back cut where I had the full bar in the tree, because it's actually a pretty good sized tree, that's again where I found the difference in power, where I could just walk it right through with a saw like Cyclops. I had to finesse the 562, so it wasn't cutting quite as fast as I would have liked, but it was cutting fast enough. So the bottom line is Cyclops is going to be a tough act to follow, but the 562 is worth the effort to learn. And the upside of the 562 is this, is even though it has a little bit less power, I'm comfortable with the weight, and it has enough power to pull that 20-inch bar, and it just simply doesn't vibrate as much as Cyclops. So I think, you know, when I start doing multiple trees, the 562 will become more and more interesting to me.